Hi, I'm Rubina and we are here today to talk about why human resources input into organizations. Human resources can benefit your company in many ways. Today we will be explaining the history of human resources, the main purpose and its objectives, the different delivery models, structure and its relation within organizations, the key concepts of recruitment and selections, the best practice considerations for effective recruitment and selections, equality and diversity in recruitment and selections, and the ethical considerations in recruitment and selection processes. Human resources management has changed in name various times throughout history. According to Human Resources magazine articles, the first personnel management department began at the National Cash Register Company in the early 1900s. Human resources management development responds to the substantial increase in competitive pressures on American business organizations. This resulted in factors such as globalization, deregulations, and rapid technological change by the 1970s. Period before revolutions, employees had no rights, no emphasis on working methods, jobs or wages were not secure, employees were treated as servants, one-way communication from top down, they had to work under extremely unhygienic conditions. After the origin of human resources management revolutions, the term human resources management saw a major evolution after 1850. Various studies were released and many experiments were conducted during this period, which gave human resources management altogether a new meaning and importance.
Hello, my name is Zeliha. I'll be talking about the main purpose and objectives of the human resource. The responsibilities of human resource manager fall into three major areas: staffing, employee compensation and benefits, and designing work. Essentially, the purpose of HRM is to maximize the productivity of an organization by optimizing the effectiveness of its employees. The primary objective of HRM is to ensure the availability of a capable and willing workforce to an organization. Beyond this, there are other objectives too. Specifically, HRM objectives are fourfolds: societal, organizational, functional, and personal.
Hi, I'm Anis. I'll be talking about the different HR delivery models, internal structures and relations within organizations. There are two types of HRM, human resource management, soft and hard. For soft HRM, employees are considered to be the most important resource of the business and are considered to be a competitive advantage. Employees are treated as individuals and the needs are managed accordingly, resulting in employee empowerment. The business's main focus is the need of employees, training them, development, commitment and participation. The key features for soft HRM includes democratic leadership style, strong and regular two-way communication, competitive pay structure, often with performance-related rewards, for hard HRM, employees are resources for the business. The business would treat them like machines. The business would focus on managing performance, achieving organizational goals, controlling costs, hiring, moving, and firing employees. The key features for hard HRM includes autocratic leadership style, minimal communication, which usually comes only from top down, little empowerment or delegation, recruitment based on ability to do the job or capability to do the job with training. I will now be talking about the three specific models in HR. The Harvard model. The Harvard model claims to be comprehensive in as much as it seeks to comprise 6 critical components of HRM. The analytical framework of the Harvard model, offered by Beer et al. 1984, consists of 6 basic components: situation factors, stakeholder interests, HRM policy choices, HR outcomes, long-term consequences, and a feedback loop through which the output flows directly into the organization and to the stakeholders. The Harvard model recognizes that multiple stakeholders exist in a business. These stakeholders include shareholders, the government, the community, and groups of employees. The Harvard model focuses on soft HRM. In basic terms, this model focuses on the fact that employees, the same as any other stakeholders, are just as important in influencing in business outcomes. To create business strategies, the interests of these various groups must be merged together. The next model I'll be talking about is the Michigan model. The Michigan model was submitted by Fomron, Tichy and Devana in 1984. This model is aimed at hard HRM due to this model focusing on a tight fit between human resource management and a business strategy by interconnecting them. The model suggests that human resources must be matched with jobs in the business or organization. Being calculative is important in terms of how much human resources are required. In order to achieve organizational objectives, human resources are utilized like any other resource. The Michigan model suggests that the business strategy must be achieved through minimal labor costs. The third model I'll be talking about is the Ulrich model. The purpose of the Ulrich model is to organize human resource functions. The three-legged stool model was developed first, which includes shared services, centers of excellence, and strategic business partners. This model was later amended by David Ulrich, who stated that large organizations require HR functions to be split into 4 sections. It now contains strategic partner, change agent, admin expert, and employee champion. Smaller companies can benefit from the Harvard model or the Michigan model, since the Ulrich model benefits mainly larger companies.
Now I'll be talking about the key concepts of recruitment and selection. Organizations must recruit people with essential skills, qualifications and experience if they must survive and flourish in a highly competitive environment. While doing so, they must be sensitive to economic, social, political and legal factors within a country. To be effective, they need to tap all available sources of supply, both internal and external. Internal promotions and transfers boost the morale of people who have served the firm loyalty for a few years. External sources too need to be explored regularly to bring qualified people with lots of ideas into a firm. The key concepts of the size of the labour market, the image of a company, the place of posting, the nature of the job, the compensation package and a host of other factors influence the way job candidates are likely to respond to the recruiting efforts of a company. Through the process of recruitment, a company tries to locate prospective employees and encourages them to apply for vacancies at various levels. Recruiting thus provides a pool of applicants for selection. To select means to choose. Selection is the process of picking individuals who have relevant qualifications to fill jobs in an organization. The basic purpose is to choose the individual who can most successfully perform the job from the pool of qualified candidates. The purpose of selection is to pick up the most suitable candidate who would best meet the requirements of the job and the organization. Effective selection therefore demands constant monitoring of the fit between the person and the job.
Hi, I'm Julian and I'm going to talk about the best practice considerations for recruitment and selection. I'm going to be using the recruitment cycle, which gives businesses a general idea of what recruitment processes might look like, and the following will highlight the best practice considerations for each stage of the recruitment cycle. First, businesses will need to identify a position that needs filling. Then a requisition needs to be raised and agreed. Finally, the role or person's specifications need to be written and reviewed, including package details such as bonuses, overtime rates, holidays, pension schemes and share option schemes. A company should never ignore their internal talent pool, and requisitions should not be publicised without being signed off. Second, the business will need to develop the best possible recruitment strategy and process that is fit for purpose to find and select potential candidates for the role. Furthermore, they will need to have a clear plan on what the recruitment process will look like. They must shortlist candidates based on competency through online assessment centres, for example. They can use targeted searching, advertising and selection, either by in-house or agency and consultancy firms. And lastly, they can use outsourced graduate recruitment services. They must not fail to explore multiple sources for potential candidates, and they must also consider outsourcing their search. Thirdly, the company must select the most appropriate candidate attraction channels that will help source the most suitable group of potential candidates. Developing an effective candidate attraction strategy involves a range of activities. Lastly, it's important to consider the employer branding as an important aspect of candidate attraction that enables the employer to market its employment value proposition to the potential candidates. Ensure that they must build a strong brand profile online and through press advertising. Communicate that the company is a leader in the field they operate in. They can use social business networking such as LinkedIn. And lastly, they can use online virtual recruitment fairs. Finally, the organisation must ensure they deliver a positive recruitment experience in which the candidates feel supported from start to finish. Poor candidate management can lead to talented candidates removing themselves from the process before being placed. They must select the candidate using suitable selection methods, such as interviews, whether that's individual interviews, telephone interviews, or panel interviews. They can use work sampling or ask candidates to give a presentation related to the role. They can enlist group activities or use assessment centres. A transparent process will ensure that candidates can track their progress and they won't be left in the dark as to what stage they are at in the recruitment process. Candidates should not be left waiting too long for a response to the application, and the last step of the recruitment process is to raise the offer to the candidate.
Hi, my name is Laximi Ale. Today I will be talking about equality, diversity and ethical consideration in recruitment and selection. Today, many businesses and organizations recognize the importance of diversity and inclusion in the workplace, and many equality legislation have been passed to prevent discrimination. However, according to Jones et al. 2017 and Caliskan et al. 2008, inequality still exists and impacts many minority groups. Businesses have much to benefit from a diverse workforce, but must promote inclusivity and an appreciation of differences and individuality as suggested by Alcazar et al. 2012. The following will describe and evaluate how HR can ensure equality and diversity in to establish an ethical recruitment and selection process. Now I'll be talking about biases and discrimination in recruitment selection processes. This include age gap, gender, ethnicity, religion, sexuality, pay gap. According to Johnston and Lee 2012, women are less likely to be promoted than men and receive less salary increase when they are promoted. This is an example of gender discrimination. King et al. 27 states that Muslims receive fewer callback rates from application, which is an example of religion discrimination. Now we'll be talking about ethical recruitment practices. Various approaches may be required to attract diverse candidates. One approach is to highlight diversity and inclusion during hiring process. Second, a firm can be emphasized that diversity policies benefit all. Third, avoiding gender wording can ensure a job advert does not put candidates off. Now we'll be talking about interview stage. Factors such as disability and maternity can influence biases on competency. Managers must understand how to make adjustments to their workplace and allow for flexible working arrangements. Managers must be aware how their own biases could influence their hiring decision. Businesses should monitor their recruitment processes and diversity of candidates. By those means, they can establish a culture of inclusion in the organization in which differences are embraced. So that will be all. Thank you for listening. We hope this will give an understanding of importance of human resources function in your organization and how to conduct recruitment, selection, and staff management ethical and efficiently. For any questions, contact us at HRMasters@gmail.com. Thank you.